high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
Spectacular, fast, exciting. Motorsport at the limit. Motorsport to perfection. Again, the WEC calls for the big battle for the title in the FIA Endurance Championship 2015. The focus is on the cars of the LMP1 class in particular. Again, all eyes are on the three big rivals, the favourites for the overall victory this season: Audi, Porsche and Toyota. On 8 of the most challenging and fascinating circuits around the globe, the teams will have to fight for each point to bring home the WEC title. The season opens in England, in Silverstone to be more precise. A place full of tradition, a place full of enthusiasm for motorsport. A worthy season opening.
You spend all the winter period to prepare the season, not the car, but the season. So you have to make sure that everything is fine on the right time, because you know that in Silverstone it will be the first round. And before this race, you were expected that everything is working very well, and the only concern you have is to make sure that it works. So it was before, and during the season we spent many times, not alone, discussing with the team, with the partners, with the manufacturers, to see how we can increase the quality of the championship. And immediately in Silverstone we understood if we were good or not.
Porsche is off to the best start in the first 6-hour race. They rank first and second after the qualifying, but the competitors, Audi and Toyota, are only some tenths behind. Excellent prerequisites for a thrilling race. The drivers seem to agree and give it their all. Almost throughout the entire race, the three favourites engage in a fierce fight. Spectacular overtaking manoeuvres and wheel-to-wheel action. For a long time, the outcome of the race remains completely unpredictable. In the end, after 6 hours of driving, just under 5 seconds make the difference. With race number 7, the Audi R8 e-tron Quattro of Marcel Fessler, André Lotterer and Benoît Trélouillet finishes just ahead of the closest rivals. Joy at a perfect first racing weekend.
It
was a fantastic race for us. It was incredibly busy on the track. We had great fights with Porsche constantly overtaking one another. It was really a great race.
Porsche
and Toyota follow in second and third place. So right after Silverstone, already it is obvious that motorsports fans can look forward to an exciting and intense season. This sort of pure racing, of course, goes hand in hand with a perfectly set up car. However, this doesn't only involve horsepower, tyres and aerodynamics. One component of the car, not necessarily expected, is of great importance to the drivers. The former WEC champion, Alan McNish, explains the special feature.
This is one of the race driver's seats. It's so important for them. It's like your gloves, your helmet, your boots. It's the senses, and your senses and feel of the car comes through the seat, the feedback. But it's also critical for safety. In fact, the material used in this is a special material, so that in case of an accident, then it absorbs the energy and keeps the driver secure.
For the second race, the WEC performs in Belgium. The Porsche cars again dominate the qualifying on the over 4-mile-long circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. But as Silverstone has shown, this doesn't mean anything. For it's in the first third of the race that the winners of the inaugural race, Fessler, Lotterer and Trélouillet, are able to catch up. Having started from 4th place, they worked their way up step by step. After a good 4 hours on the Ardennes roller coaster at Spa, André Lotterer takes the lead for Audi for the first time. However, the fight for victory is still far from being won, for the Porsche of Dumas, Jani and Liet does not back down. An exciting duel right until the end, where the Audi team comes out on top once again. Marcel Fessler, André Lotterer and Benoît Trélulier bring home their second successive victory and are able to increase their lead in the overall ranking, followed by Porsche in 2nd and 3rd place. The actual joint favourite Toyota has still fallen short of expectations this season. The best Japanese finish 5th.
It's really awesome feeling, great racing, really enjoyed it a lot in the car. I think we're living a really fantastic time at the moment in WEC. The battles are fantastic, really fair, and 2 in a row is really good, very nice for the mechanics as well. They worked really hard, the whole team over the winter, to give us the best car, and now we came here with our Le Mans Aero. It paid off as well, so all the hard work from the winter paid off, and for me it's a home race to win, and I can't be happier, you know. I feel complete.
Yeah, I think the guys in Neuburg did a really great job on aero. We had a really good car for Silverstone, really good for Spa, and it looks like it's going to be good for Le Mans. So let's see how it's going on. Now we are focused 100% on Le Mans, and it will be fine, I think. We are okay to fight for the win, but it's not going to be an easy one for sure.
Now on to one of the toughest races in the world, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. However, first of all, a short review. In 2014, the legendary circuit in the northwest of France saw one of the most exciting races. Right until the end, Porsche, the returnee, and Audi battled for victory. After 24 thrilling hours, Marcel Fessler, André Lotterer and Benoît Trélulier made it to the top of the podium. Finishing 2nd and 3rd were another Audi and a Toyota, which had started as the favourite. And Le Mans 2015 promises to be even more exciting. 168 drivers are on the starting grid. 56 teams are officially lined up. Again, it's the LMP1 racing cars that receive the greatest attention. With their overhauled Porsche 919 hybrid, the team from Zuffenhausen dominated the first tests of the season. Especially on long straights and during acceleration, the Porsche is particularly powerful.
The Porsche engineers always love to push the boundaries. It's aggressive, it's bold, but they believe that they'll pull it off, and I have no doubts that they will.
After the WEC title in 2014, Toyota now wants to finally bring home its first long-desired Le Mans victory. The team from Ingolstadt have fine-tuned the aerodynamics and increased the downforce. This has paid off. The victories of the first 2 races have shown that they are the fastest over the full distance.
This year, the fight is going to be tremendous. I mean, to be honest, when you see how close it is with our competitors, it's going to be a sprint of 24 hours, so this is going to be really special.
One who is not among the starters in France in 2015 is Tom Christensen. All in all, Mr. Le Mans made it 9 times to the top of the podium after the famous 24 hours, and he remembers every single victory.
Audi R10 TDI. I never forget the first meter I drove with this car. The kick you get is unbelievable. In the motorsport world, it's a kind of sensation. Audi winning Le Mans with a diesel. Every time the cars go back into the garage, there's an evolution when they go out on the racetrack. And that's also easy to see when you walk down through memory lane like here.
Audi, Porsche or Toyota. Never have the teams in the LMP1 class been closer together. Will Audi win its 14th title at this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans? Will Porsche, after 17 years, return to the Olympus of motorsport? Or will Toyota bring home its first long-desired victory? One thing's for sure, it will definitely be exciting.
We saw in Silverstone and in Spa that the gap between all the competitors are very, very tight. So I think it's very difficult to know who will win this race. But for sure, the best drivers and the best car will win.
For the 83rd time, the engines roar at the long-distance classic in Le Mans. An explosion of passion for all fans with petrol running in their veins.
This is the best race ever.
We don't like it. It's fantastic fun. The crowds are great. Everyone gets on. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Absolutely. It's nothing like F1.
Massive.
This is the best motorsport. Much better than F1.
Of course, a 24-hour race is not run after just a couple of minutes. Many hours of racing demand concentration, precision, stamina and driving skills. And as all the drivers in the WEC do have a lot of these skills, the race remains undecided for a long time. The lead changes several times. The final hours of the race will be decisive. All three Audi R18 e-tron Quattro are fast, but the odds are not in their favour. Technical problems and an accident prevent their victory. In the end, the leaders in the overall ranking, Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, make it to third place, and in spite of the problems, celebrate their strong podium finish. When you have an unscheduled pit stop, it's difficult to win the race. So it's fair to say that today Porsche is the well-deserved winner. But we will analyse everything now and strike back. So Porsche is the winner of the most prestigious race. The team is Nico Hülkenberg, Earl Bamber and Nick Tandy.
Le Mans wird als schwerstes Rennen der Welt angesehen.
Le Mans is considered the toughest race in the world, and to win the toughest race with the most complex car, that's quite extraordinary.
Das ist schon was Besonderes und das dann noch
And to do it with Porsche after such a long time is almost incredible.
Fast unbeschreibbar.
Le Mans 2015, again a high-class spectacle, the highlight of the WE season. Fascinating, breathtaking, simply something special, where everyone is ensured full satisfaction.
It was a great event, such a lot of people, a lot of passion. Le Mans is definitely the best showcase we can have for the championship.
The fourth stop of the season is at Nürburgring, the circuit a first for the World Endurance Championship. In front of over 60,000 excited people, the race turns into a real thriller of overtaking and lapping manoeuvres on a winding circuit only just over 3 miles long. Porsche have a good day. Timo Bernhardt, Brendan Hartley and Mark Webber win the 6-hour race in a heat of over 30 degrees Celsius. The sister car with Romain Dumas, Neil Jani and Mark Leap finishes second. Nürburgring was very special, as it was our first win in the WEC this season. That's definitely given us a big boost. Last year we were often very close, so you can actually say that the race at Nürburgring has given us an extra boost. Although Audi is not entirely happy with ranks 3 and 4, joy prevails that the team with racing number 7, Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, can maintain its lead in the overall standings.
Mixed feelings, because in the end a podium is not a bad thing to go home with, but on the other hand we realized that our potential wasn't there to beat the competitors, so we have a lot of homework to do, understand what was going on. Also we couldn't run our full potential because we had some issues, but Yeah, and also we have to thank our sister car to hand us back the third place. You know, without that, I think we would have been fourth. So it's good in sake of the team and trying to keep the lead in the championship.
Before we get to the fifth race of the season, we are going to take a brief look into a WEC cockpit.
Hi guys, my name is Lucas Di Grassi. I'm an Audi Sport factory driver, and normally you go to the office. I go to the racetrack. Let's show you my desk. So we are here at the cockpit of the R18 e-tron Quattro. It's more than my desk. It's an extension of my body, really. I can control the whole car. Basically here, I have all the thousands of sensors of the car are sending through a computer the basic information into this small display. But the most important information is the lap time. So I can see if I'm fast or not. I can see also the tire pressure, which is very important because it's also a matter of safety and also a matter of performance. As you can see, this space is really small and it gets really hot. We have a couple of interesting settings here at the steering wheel. You can control, for example, the traction control of the car. Plus or minus means more or less traction control. You can control the brake distribution, so more front or more rear, depending how the car is handling. You have also more normal commands for a race car, like the radio to communicate with your pits. And then we have many other settings, for example, like the wiper and the high beam at night. So cars are aware that you're approaching them and you can make a safe overtake.
Back to the WEC. Now it's getting really hot. We're off to Texas, to Austin, to the Circuit of the Americas. 35 degrees Celsius in the shade, 42 on the tarmac. Austin demands everything of the drivers, cars and tyres. Especially the teams of Audi and Porsche fight for victory in the US. 6 hours of sudorific racing in Texas pushes the fiercest competitors for the title to their limits. Racing numbers 7 and 18 fight an enthralling duel, giving the fans their money's worth. At the finish, the Porsche 919 hybrid with Webber, Bernhardt and Hartley comes in slightly ahead. The second successive victory for the trio. Fessler, Lotterer and Treluyer in the Audi rank second, making it to the podium for the 5th time in a row and maintaining the overall lead in the championship. Lucas Di Grassi, Loic Duval and Oliver Jarvis in the second Audi R18 e-tron Quattro complete the podium. For Toyota, it is another race with no prospect of success. The two TS040s already fall back at the beginning of the race with no real chance against the competition of Audi and Porsche. They miss the podium once more. The team of Sebastian Buemi, Anthony Davidson and Kazuki Nakajima finished 4th. However, hope remains that things will improve for the home race in Fuji. With this, we're off to the land of the rising sun, to Japan. The 6th race of the season takes place at one of the most impressive racetracks of the world, at the foot of Fujiyama. However, the outlook in Fuji leaves much to be desired, as a lot of rain and water on the track makes life difficult for the drivers. At the beginning of the race, there's every indication that Audi will win the race. Racing numbers 7 and 8 temporarily take the front ranks. After a while, the weather improves and the field moves closer together. At the top, an exciting battle between Audi and Porsche unfolds. Unfortunately, the team from Ingolstadt have to deal with some tyre problems, playing the competition right into their hands. Bernhardt, Hartley and Webber in their Porsche take the lead, defending it right through until the finish. The trio brings home their 3rd successive victory and with it rank at the top of the overall standings. What remains at the end of the day is the third place in the ranking for Audi, with Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, and their delight that they reached the podium in each race of the season.
We
had a good start this season. We challenged in Le Mans, but couldn't take advantage of it. Then there was an offset with the updates of the competitors. So we didn't win at the Nürburgring and Austin. In Fuji, we were within striking distance. But hopefully, in the end, we'll be victorious in the last two races. Now off to the land of the dragon. On the agenda, the penultimate race of the season in Shanghai, China. Anything is still possible. In the most exciting battle for the title in the 4-year history of the World Endurance Championship so far, Audi and Porsche are not going to give anything away. In Shanghai, it is the team from Ingolstadt that initially proved to have the fastest car, especially in the rain. Racing numbers 7 and 8 temporarily take the lead. When the 3.4-mile course dries off, the odds change. The racing cars of Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, as well as the car driven by de Grassi, Duval and Jarvis, initially can't match the speed of the Porsches. Towards the end of the race, the Audi is able to close in. Though a full course yellow phase, however, prevents a successful catch-up. So even the fastest lap by Audi pilot Marcel Fessler does nothing to prevent Porsche's double win in Shanghai. Bernhardt, Hartley and Webber bring home victory before their teammates Dumas, Gianni and Lieb, keeping the lead in the overall standings. When you look at the races, especially the last one in Shanghai, it was extremely tight. At the beginning, in the rain, there were frequent changes of position, especially during the fight with Audi with racing numbers 7 and 8. In the end, it was a strategic move that helped us win the race. However, anything is possible yet. The Audi team of Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, ranking second in the overall standings, still have a chance of winning the title in the final race of the season in Bahrain. I think you generally have to say that in the rain we're much closer to the top ranks. In times of heavy rain, we're even better than Porsche, so I remain optimistic. I reckon the Drivers' Championship's not lost yet. We'll give it our all to strike back in Bahrain. The Audi with racing number 7 is only 13 points behind the Porsche of Bernhardt, Hartley and Webber. Time for the big finale in the desert state. The last race of the season in Bahrain awaits, and that packs quite a punch. During the early phase, it is Audi that dominates the race. The cars with numbers 7 and 8 head up the field and are temporarily even on course for the title. The team from Ingolstadt benefits from problems with the performance of the Porsche engine. The car of the overall leader spends almost 9 minutes in the pits to be fixed, so Porsche falls behind considerably. But also Audi isn't spared any technical problems. A defective brake disc in the car of Duval, de Grassi and Jarvis spoils any hopes of a place on the podium in Bahrain. The fight for the championship, however, remains suspenseful. Fessler, Lotterer and Tréluyer, the second in the overall standings, give it their all to bring home the major win. After 6 absolutely thrilling hours, they come in second behind the winning Porsche of Dumas, Gianni and Lieb. But the result of the second Porsche can still tip the scales. It comes in 5th, which suffices to scrape victory. Bernhardt, Hartley and Webber are the new champions of the FIA Endurance Championship WEC. So after the Constructors' Championship, Porsche also secures the Drivers' title.
Sounds good, and feels pretty good as well. Obviously it'll sink in the next few days and the coming weeks when we get to spend time with the team and everyone that's been involved in the project to come back from only a long break away in this type of racing, World Sports Car Championship, and get the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors and the double victory at Le Mans. I mean, Porsche this year have really owned.
The co-contestants of Audi tried their best and only failed by a narrow margin. Marcel Fessler, André Lotterer and Benoît Tréluyer rank second in the championship and remain the only team that made it onto the podium in every single race of the season. The WEC season 2015, in terms of suspense, a hard act to follow.
For 16, we know that we will have a new distribution of the performance around the track, because all of them will work very hard during the winter. It means that when you start to discuss with them, they are all focusing now for next year. Toyota would like really to be back at the front. Porsche would like to stay at the front, and Audi has not the intention to stay as a challenger.
So we can look forward to 2016, to the next FIA Endurance Championship, the next exciting battle for the WEC title.
Stay with us, because after the break, we rewind the clock to the 2015 edition of the Porsche Carrera Cup Pro-Am from Phillip Island.